Have you ever wondered how life changes as we step into our golden years? As we reach our 70s and 80s, the world starts to look a little different. The pace of life slows, our values shift, and what once seemed so important may no longer hold the same weight. At this stage, a profound question arises. What no longer makes sense? Should we still worry about others' opinions? Is accumulating material wealth still worth it? Do certain relationships or obligations truly bring us joy? In today's video, we'll explore 9 key aspects of life that lose their significance as we age. Letting go of these burdens can open the door to greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. By watching until the end, you'll gain practical insights on how to let go of what no longer serves you, embrace inner peace, and live with greater intention. This isn't just about simplifying your life, it's about creating space for what truly matters, so you can experience your golden years with clarity, contentment, and happiness. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot to us. If you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread our message. I'm also eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0 instead. Your feedback is crucial, as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now let's get started. 1. Letting go of the weight of others' opinions. As we journey through life, one of the most liberating lessons we learn, often later rather than sooner, is that our personal worth is not defined by the judgments of others. This realization is profound, offering a sense of freedom and peace that can only come with age and wisdom. For decades, many of us have been conditioned to seek approval, conform to societal norms, and shape our identities around the expectations of family, friends, and society at large. But by the time we reach our 80s, a powerful shift begins to take place. We come to see that the energy spent trying to please others is not only exhausting, but ultimately unnecessary. From childhood, societal norms teach us to prioritize external validation. Whether it's adhering to cultural expectations, following family traditions, or simply trying to fit in with peers, we often compromise our individuality to avoid judgment. This can shape the way we dress, the careers we pursue, the way we interact with others, and even the decisions we make about love and relationships. The fear of standing out or disappointing someone often looms large, pushing us to suppress our true selves. Over time, this burden can become so ingrained that we forget what it means to make choices solely for our own happiness. Reflect on how many opportunities or passions may have been set aside because of this fear of judgment. For instance, think of a man who dreamed of becoming a writer but chose a more respectable career in business to meet his family's expectations. Or consider a woman who longed to travel but felt tethered by societal expectations to settle down and build a traditional home life. These sacrifices, though made out of a desire to belong or to do what is right, can leave deep-seated feelings of regret. Take the example of a woman in her 80s who spent decades trying to meet the expectations of her family and friends. Her career choice wasn't one she loved. It was one that earned her the approval of those around her. She maintained social circles out of obligation rather than genuine connection. And she suppressed her love for art and creativity out of fear that it would be seen as frivolous or impractical. It wasn't until she retired and had the chance to reflect on her life that she realized how much energy had been wasted trying to live up to others' opinions. This epiphany marked the beginning of her transformation. Freed from the need to please, she rediscovered her passion for painting, traveled to places she had always dreamed of, and built a life that truly brought her joy and fulfillment. This kind of liberation is deeply personal, and while it doesn't happen overnight, it is absolutely achievable. Letting go of the weight of others' opinions allows us to live more authentically. Instead of asking, "What will others think?" we begin to ask, "What do I want?" Imagine the freedom of waking up each day, knowing that your choices are yours alone, made not for the approval of others, but for your own happiness and peace. The beauty of this transformation is that it's never too late to begin. Whether you're 50, 80, or beyond, there's always room to shed the unnecessary burden of judgment and live more intentionally. The truth is, most people are so focused on their own lives that they're not paying nearly as much attention to us as we think. And even if they are, their opinions are just that, opinions. They don't define us unless we allow them to. By letting go of the need for approval, we unlock a profound sense of peace and freedom. We begin to make decisions that align with our true values and passions. We start to enjoy life on our own terms, no longer shackled by the fear of judgment. Whether it's pursuing a long-lost hobby, speaking our truth, or simply choosing to spend our time differently, this newfound freedom opens doors to a life filled with joy and authenticity. This journey of letting go is not only about personal liberation, but also about inspiring others. When you choose to live authentically, you become a beacon for those around you, showing them that it's possible to step away from societal pressures and embrace a life of true self-expression. It's a ripple effect that encourages others to follow their own paths, creating a community of individuals who value authenticity over conformity. In the end, the opinions of others lose their power when we stop giving them weight. By choosing to live for ourselves, we reclaim our energy, our peace, and our happiness. This is the kind of transformation that defines the golden years, not just living longer but living better. Embrace this freedom and let it guide you to a life that truly reflects who you are. 2. Releasing the burden of material possessions. As we grow older, our relationship with material possessions begins to transform. The things that once seemed essential, whether it's the latest gadgets, a larger home, or a wardrobe full of clothes, start to lose their significance. In our younger years, many of us equate success and happiness with accumulation. Owning more often feels like an achievement, a sign of security, or even a measure of status. However, as we age, we begin to see the limitations of material wealth and the burdens it can bring. True happiness, we come to realize, cannot be found in things. The latest possessions might bring momentary joy, but over time they tend to clutter not only our homes, but also our minds. Many of us have closets overflowing with clothes we rarely wear, garages filled with forgotten items, and attics packed with memories we no longer revisit. These objects, once treasured, can begin to feel like weights, tying us to the past and distracting us from the present. Decluttering offers a pathway to emotional and mental clarity. Letting go of what no longer serves us is not just about creating physical space, it's about freeing ourselves from the emotional energy tied to those possessions. Every item we own carries a story, a memory, or an attachment. Releasing these items can feel like letting go of unnecessary weight, making room for new experiences and connections that align with who we are today, not who we once were. For example, many people find immense relief and freedom after downsizing their homes in their later years. Without the burden of maintaining a large house or managing countless belongings, they discover more time and energy to focus on what truly matters, spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply enjoying the calm of a simplified life. Imagine walking into a home that feels spacious, light, and calm, rather than one that feels crowded with the past. This is the gift of decluttering. A home and life that reflect the person you are now. Simplifying doesn't mean discarding everything. It's about intentionality, keeping only the items that truly bring joy, utility, or meaning. When we let go of possessions that no longer serve us, we gain clarity and peace. The process of decluttering becomes a way to honor the past while making room for the present and the future. Ultimately, releasing the burden of material possessions is a step toward greater freedom. It allows us to focus on the relationships, experiences, and values that define a meaningful life. By letting go of things, we can embrace simplicity, clarity, and the joy of living more intentionally. 3. Saying no to unnecessary social obligations. Throughout much of our lives, we often feel compelled to say yes to social events and obligations, even when they don't bring us joy. Whether it's attending family functions, work-related gatherings, or casual social events, the pressure to show up out of politeness or fear of disappointing others can weigh heavily on us. These obligations, while sometimes well-intentioned, often drain our energy and take away precious time that could be spent on more meaningful pursuits. As we age, however, a wonderful shift begins to occur. We gain the confidence to prioritize our personal desires and recognize that saying no is not an act of selfishness, but one of self-care. Life becomes too precious to spend in places or with people who don't bring us joy. Instead of adhering to the expectations of others, we start to honor our own boundaries and needs. For example, imagine an elderly man who spent most of his life attending every family gathering and community event out of obligation. While he cared deeply for his loved ones, he often felt drained by these commitments. Eventually, he realized that it was perfectly acceptable to decline invitations that didn't resonate with him. By choosing to spend his time on activities that truly brought him peace, like gardening, reading, or spending quiet evenings with close friends, he found a renewed sense of joy and fulfillment. Saying no creates space for more fulfilling experiences. When we prioritize what genuinely matters to us, we can engage in activities that nourish our souls rather than deplete them. Whether it's dedicating time to a cherished hobby, traveling, or simply enjoying the serenity of solitude, saying no to unnecessary obligations empowers us to lead a life aligned with our values. At first, saying no might feel uncomfortable, especially if we fear upsetting others. But more often than not, people respect and understand these decisions. By protecting our energy and focusing on what truly matters, we also become more present and engaged in the moments we choose to say yes to. This shift fosters deeper connections and a greater appreciation for the time we spend with loved ones. In the golden years of life, the ability to say no becomes a form of freedom. It allows us to reclaim our time, prioritize our well-being, and focus on the people and activities that truly enrich our lives. Rather than seeing it as turning away from others, saying no is a way of turning toward ourselves and embracing what brings us peace and joy. 4. Embracing authentic beauty. In a world that glorifies youth and physical perfection, aging can often feel like a battle against societal standards. From magazine covers to social media, we are constantly bombarded with images that equate beauty to smooth skin, toned bodies, and youthful features. This relentless focus on outward appearance can leave many feeling pressured to hide the natural signs of aging, viewing them as imperfections to be corrected. But what if we chose to reject these narrow definitions of beauty? What if we embraced aging as a celebration of life's journey, rather than something to conceal? True beauty is not defined by the absence of wrinkles or gray hair. It lies in the depth of our character, the kindness we show to others, and the wisdom we carry from years of experience. The lines on our faces tell stories of laughter, resilience, and growth. Each wrinkle is a testament to the moments that shaped us, the challenges we've overcome, the love we've shared, and the lessons we've learned. The gray in our hair isn't something to cover up, but a symbol of wisdom and time well spent. When we shift our perspective to see these changes as marks of authenticity, we free ourselves from the unrealistic expectations imposed by society. Consider the story of a woman in her 80s who decided to stop coloring her hair and embrace its natural silver. Initially, she feared being judged or seen as old. But over time, she discovered a newfound confidence in her natural appearance. She began to appreciate her reflection, not as a reminder of aging, but as a symbol of the life she had lived. A life filled with meaningful relationships, accomplishments, and growth. This simple act of acceptance brought her peace and allowed her to move through the world with authenticity and grace. Authentic beauty goes beyond physical appearance. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are it's not their outward features that inspire you, but the warmth of their smile, the kindness in their eyes, or the wisdom in their words. This type of beauty transcends age, resonating deeply with those around us. Celebrating aging is about embracing our lived experiences. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing not flaws but a reflection of the person we've become. Every wrinkle, every gray strand of hair, every mark of time is proof of a life fully lived. When we celebrate these signs of aging, we empower ourselves to live authentically and inspire others to do the same. In the golden years, embracing authentic beauty becomes an act of self-love and liberation. By redefining beauty as something rooted in character, compassion, and experience, we shift the focus from external perfection to inner fulfillment. This is the kind of beauty that grows with time, and it's a gift worth cherishing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 5. Reevaluating activities that no longer bring joy. As we move through life, it's natural to develop routines and commitments that once brought us happiness. However, as we age, our interests and priorities can shift, leaving certain activities or hobbies feeling less fulfilling. Reevaluating how we spend our time becomes essential, allowing us to create space for pursuits that align with our current desires and values. The importance of reassessing our activities lies in the freedom it offers to evolve. A hobby that brought immense joy in our 30s or 40s may no longer resonate in our 80s. Traditions upheld for years out of habit may feel like obligations rather than sources of happiness. By acknowledging that it's okay to change, we grant ourselves permission to let go of activities that no longer serve us and welcome new passions that ignite our curiosity and excitement. For instance, consider someone who spent decades participating in a local gardening club. While gardening once brought them peace and connection, they might find themselves drawn to different creative outlets in their later years, such as painting or writing. Transitioning from an old passion to a new one isn't about abandoning the past, it's about honoring personal growth and allowing space for fresh experiences. This shift can be deeply fulfilling. For many, discovering new interests later in life can lead to unexpected joys and even new friendships. A retired professional, for example, might explore volunteer work or take up photography, discovering a sense of purpose and creativity they hadn't experienced before. Another person might rekindle an old love for music by learning to play an instrument they never had time for in their younger years. Reassessing commitments also means recognizing which social or community obligations might feel more draining than enriching. It's okay to step back from groups or activities that no longer align with your current values. By doing so, you create the time and energy to focus on pursuits that bring genuine happiness and fulfillment. Finding joy through new pursuits is not just about exploring activities, it's about reconnecting with yourself. Whether it's trying your hand at painting, joining a book club, taking long walks in nature, or even learning a new language, the possibilities are endless. The key is to approach these changes with curiosity and an open heart, embracing the chance to grow and evolve. Ultimately, reevaluating how we spend our time is a celebration of the freedom that comes with age. It allows us to let go of the past, live fully in the present, and pursue the things that bring us the most joy. By continually reassessing our activities, we ensure that our time is spent in ways that reflect who we are today and who we want to become. 6. Cutting ties with toxic relationships. Relationships are at the heart of a meaningful life. They provide joy, support, and a sense of belonging. However, not all relationships are nurturing. Some connections, whether with friends, family, or acquaintances, can be draining, hurtful, or even toxic. As we grow older, we gain the clarity and confidence to evaluate the relationships in our lives and prioritize those that truly enrich our well-being. The impact of relationships, whether positive or negative, cannot be overstated. Nurturing relationships uplift us, provide emotional security, and inspire us to be our best selves. In contrast, toxic relationships can leave us feeling unappreciated, criticized, or emotionally depleted. These connections often take more from us than they give, creating stress that affects not only our emotional health but also our physical well-being. Letting go of toxic relationships is an act of self-care. It's not about resentment or anger. It's about recognizing your worth and prioritizing your peace. Distancing yourself from negative influences creates the space for healthier, more fulfilling connections to flourish. This decision, while difficult, is ultimately liberating. Consider the story of a man in his 80s who spent years maintaining a relationship with a critical family member. This person's constant negativity and lack of support took a toll on his self-esteem and happiness. After much reflection, he made the choice to distance himself, not out of bitterness, but to protect his own peace of mind. The result was transformative. Without the weight of that toxic connection, he felt lighter and more focused on the relationships that truly mattered. He spent more time with friends, who uplifted him and family members who celebrated his presence, leading to a renewed sense of joy and fulfillment. Another example is a woman who had been part of a long-standing social group. Over time, she realized that the group dynamics had become unhealthy, filled with gossip and judgment. Breaking away from the group allowed her to explore new friendships with people who shared her values and brought positivity into her life. The benefits of cutting ties with toxic relationships extend beyond emotional well-being. When we let go of negativity, we create room for love, kindness, and genuine support to enter our lives. We're better able to invest in relationships that align with our values and bring out the best in us. This process is not without challenges. Long-standing relationships, particularly with close friends or family, can be difficult to reevaluate. But by prioritizing your own peace and happiness, you set a powerful example for others, showing that it's never too late to advocate for your well-being. In the golden years, cutting ties with toxic relationships is an opportunity to embrace emotional freedom. It allows you to focus on connections that nourish your soul and enrich your life. By surrounding yourself with positivity and love, you cultivate a support system that helps you thrive in every aspect of life. 7. Letting go of comparisons. Comparison is often called the thief of joy, and for good reason. Throughout life, we are subtly and sometimes overtly encouraged to measure ourselves against others. Whether it's their financial success, family life, physical appearance, or accomplishments, the act of comparing can lead us down a path of dissatisfaction and self-doubt. But as we age, we gain the wisdom to see the futility of this habit. The detrimental effects of comparison on happiness are profound. When we constantly evaluate our lives through the lens of others, we shift our focus away from our own blessings and achievements. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, their home is bigger, their retirement is more luxurious, or they seem happier than I am. This kind of thinking drains our energy and fosters unnecessary envy or regret, overshadowing the richness of our own lives. Acceptance of individual paths is the key to breaking free from this cycle. By the time we reach our golden years, it becomes clearer than ever that everyone's journey is unique. What brings one person happiness may not resonate with another, and that's perfectly okay. Each of us has walked a path shaped by our own choices, experiences, and values. There's no universal standard for success or fulfillment. It's deeply personal. For example, think of an elderly couple who spent years comparing their financial situation to that of their neighbors. They worried that their savings weren't as robust, their home wasn't as grand, or their lifestyle didn't measure up. Over time, they realized that their true happiness wasn't tied to material wealth or outward appearances. It was found in the love they shared, the memories they created, and the simple joys of their day-to-day lives. By letting go of comparisons, they were able to fully appreciate the life they had built and embrace a deep sense of contentment. Letting go of comparisons allows us to celebrate our personal journeys. It shifts our perspective from what do they have that I don't, to what do I have that brings me joy. This mindset helps us recognize the beauty and uniqueness of our own lives, fostering gratitude for the experiences and connections that have shaped us. Imagine how freeing it would be to live without the constant need to measure up. To wake up each morning and focus on what truly matters to you, your health, your loved ones, and your passions, without worrying about whether your life looks good enough to others. This kind of freedom brings immense peace and clarity, enabling us to live fully in the present moment. Encouraging others to appreciate their own journeys is another powerful outcome of letting go of comparisons. When we focus on our unique paths, we inspire those around us to do the same. By embracing our individuality, we create an environment where success is defined not by external standards, but by personal fulfillment and joy. In the end, life is not a competition. It's a personal journey meant to be lived authentically and intentionally. By letting go of comparisons, we free ourselves to appreciate the richness of our own experiences and embrace the beauty of a life well lived. 8. Redefining goals. As we age, our definition of success often begins to shift. In the earlier stages of life, many of our goals are shaped by societal expectations: climbing the career ladder, accumulating wealth, building a family, or achieving recognition in our chosen fields. These pursuits are often driven by the desire to meet external standards of success. But as we move into our later years, we gain the clarity to see that true fulfillment lies not in living up to others' expectations, but in pursuing what genuinely brings us joy and meaning. This shift from societal expectations to personal fulfillment is both liberating and transformative. It allows us to step back and ask ourselves, what truly matters to me now? For some, it might mean spending more time with loved ones. For others, it could be exploring hobbies, traveling, or finally pursuing passions that were set aside during the busyness of earlier years. Redefining our goals is not about abandoning ambition. It's about aligning our aspirations with the values and priorities we hold dear in the present. The importance of evolving goals as we age cannot be overstated. Life is a journey, and what mattered in our 30s or 40s may no longer resonate in our 80s or 80s. Allowing our goals to evolve is a natural and necessary part of personal growth. It's about recognizing that success is not a static destination but a dynamic process that changes as we do. By letting go of outdated aspirations, we create space to embrace new possibilities and experiences that reflect who we are today. Take, for example, a woman who spent decades climbing the corporate ladder. Her career brought her great satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. However, as she approached her 80s, she realized that her definition of success had shifted. Rather than continuing to chase professional accolades, she chose to focus on spending time with her grandchildren, traveling to places she had always dreamed of, and exploring a creative passion for pottery that had been dormant for years. This new chapter of her life brought her a deeper sense of fulfillment than she had ever imagined. Another story is that of a man who, after retiring, discovered a passion for teaching. He began volunteering at a local community center, mentoring young people, and sharing the knowledge he had gained over a lifetime. While his earlier goals had centered on financial stability and professional success, his later years were defined by the joy and meaning he found in giving back. These stories highlight the power of redefining goals to align with what truly matters in each stage of life. Letting go of traditional definitions of success allows us to embrace a more personal and intentional way of living. It encourages us to focus on the moments and experiences that bring us the most joy. Whether that's deepening our relationships, exploring new interests, or simply savoring the peace of a slower, more mindful existence. In the golden years, redefining goals is an opportunity to craft a life that reflects our values and desires. It's a chance to move away from external pressures and toward a deeper connection with ourselves and our purpose. By embracing this shift, we unlock a life that is not only meaningful but also truly our own. 9. Prioritizing happiness without guilt. For much of our lives, many of us are conditioned to prioritize the needs of others before our own. We're taught that selflessness is a virtue, and focusing on our own happiness can feel selfish or indulgent. However, as we grow older, we begin to understand a vital truth. Self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. To truly care for others, we must first care for ourselves. Prioritizing our happiness allows us to show up in our relationships with renewed energy, love, and joy, enriching both our lives and the lives of those around us. The necessity of self-care and personal joy becomes more evident with age. After years of giving to others, whether as parents, partners, or caregivers, it's time to reclaim space for ourselves. This doesn't mean abandoning responsibilities or loved ones. Rather, it's about recognizing that your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's. Pursuing activities that bring you joy, taking time for rest, and saying yes to what truly fulfills you are essential steps toward a balanced and meaningful life. Breaking free from the conditioning of selflessness is a powerful and transformative act. It involves challenging the belief that happiness must always take a backseat to duty or obligation. For instance, a woman who spent decades putting her family's needs above her own might finally decide to pursue her lifelong dream of taking art classes. Initially, she may feel guilty about dedicating time to herself. However, as she immerses herself in her passion, she discovers that her renewed sense of purpose and happiness positively impacts her family. Her joy becomes contagious, inspiring her loved ones and deepening her connections with them. Another example is a man who, after years of working tirelessly to provide for his family, decides to prioritize his health and personal growth in retirement. He begins practicing yoga, taking long walks, and learning to cook healthy meals. At first, he worries that focusing on himself might seem selfish, but he soon realizes that these changes make him more present and energetic for his loved ones. By prioritizing his happiness, he strengthens his relationships and sets an example of self-care for those around him. When we prioritize happiness, we also cultivate healthier relationships. Taking time to nurture ourselves allows us to give from a place of abundance rather than depletion. Instead of feeling drained or resentful, we can approach our connections with genuine care and enthusiasm. This shift benefits not only us, but also the people we care about most, creating a ripple effect of positivity and love. Imagine a life where your days are filled with the things that bring you joy, free from the guilt of putting yourself first. Whether it's pursuing a passion, traveling, spending time in nature, or simply enjoying quiet moments of reflection, prioritizing happiness opens the door to a richer, more fulfilling existence. In the golden years, embracing your right to happiness is an act of self-love and empowerment. It's a declaration that your joy matters, and by nurturing yourself, you create a life filled with energy, peace, and deeper connections. When you prioritize your happiness without guilt, you not only enhance your own well-being, but also become a source of light and inspiration for those around you. Conclusion. Life after 70 is a chapter filled with opportunity, a chance to live with intention, clarity, and joy. It's a time to let go of the unnecessary burdens we've carried for so long, whether it's the weight of others' opinions, the clutter of material possessions, or the toxicity of unfulfilling relationships. By releasing these, we create space for what truly matters: meaningful connections, personal growth, and the simple pleasures that bring us peace and happiness. This stage of life invites us to reflect deeply on what we value. True fulfillment comes not from accumulation, but from appreciation. Instead of measuring success by the wealth or status we've achieved, we begin to see the richness of a life lived authentically and intentionally. Each moment becomes an opportunity to cherish what we have, to savor the relationships and experiences that make life worthwhile, and to embrace the beauty of living lightly. As you reflect on these lessons, remember that it's never too late to make changes. Whether it's redefining your goals, saying no to what no longer serves you, or embracing the freedom of letting go, the power to shape your journey lies in your hands. You've earned the right to prioritize your happiness, to live with purpose, and to focus on what brings you joy. Now, I encourage you to take action and seize the opportunities that lie ahead. Ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? What can I embrace to make my life more fulfilling? These questions are the first steps toward living with intention and creating a life that truly reflects your values. If you found this video meaningful, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with the number 9 if these insights resonated with you, or a 0 if they didn't. Your feedback is invaluable in helping us create content that speaks to your heart and inspires positive change. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means so much to us and allows us to continue bringing you valuable content like this. This is your time. Cherish it, nurture it, and live it fully. Let's continue embracing the freedom to live intentionally and meaningfully. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from this topic. Have any thoughts or personal experiences to share? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join our community for more empowering content. Thank you for watching, and until next time, embrace the journey with confidence.